This episode of the Corvette channel is brought to you by Windrestrictor, makers of the ultimate accessory for your Corvette.
Hi everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Scott and today I'm going to be showing you how to install the ultimate accessory for a C7 Corvette. I'm happy to say that Windrestrictor is sponsoring the Corvette channel, and in doing so they've authorized me to be able to give you a 10% discount on everything that you see on their site. So I'm going to be posting a link and also a coupon code that you can use on their site, or you can call into their customer service and order it that way, and you'll be able to receive the 10% off. Now let me tell you about the product just a little bit. The product is a genuine licensed product from GM, and they offer a whole bunch of different emblems and logos that you can put on it, or they can help you make a custom one. They not only make them for the Corvettes, but they make them for other brands also. Chevrolet, Ford, Mercedes, a whole bunch. So check out their site. I'm sure that you'll really love what you see. So before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about Windrestrictor. They're a US-based company based out of Dallas, Texas, and they do all of their manufacturing at their plant in Dallas. They offer 24-hour support via a chat session through their website, and they also offer a lifetime guarantee on this product. You can't ask for much better. Everyone that I've spoken to at the company has just been great. They've been really nice and helpful, and so that gives you that nice warm fuzzy feeling. The restrictor comes with a 5-page instruction sheet, has 5 steps, and if you follow these steps in the order that they're in, you'll have no problem installing it. So before we get started, I just wanted to show you the tools that you're going to need, and it covers it in the instructions, but I just wanted to show you what you're going to need. First of all, the very beginning of the instructions, it doesn't say that you need a hairdryer, but later on in the instructions it does, so I just wanted to point this out. You're going to need this to be able to heat up the adhesive on the mounting brackets. So you can use this or a heat gun, either one, but a hairdryer is going to be more than enough. Now, you're also going to need a putty knife and a T40 Torx, as well as an X-Acto knife. Now, I took the liberty of getting a little squeegee scraper that's made out of plastic. In the event that I feel I need to use this rather than using this sharp metal blade, I'll be able to use it. So I just gathered it all up. So that's what I advise you have before you get started. So that way you're not hunting down parts. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you need to be able to open the door, get your seats moved all the way forward, and your seat backs pushed all the way toward the steering wheel. And then we're going to pop the trunk, we're going to take out the carpet, and we're going to take out the privacy liner that we've got in there, so it gives us room to be able to work inside the car. And in this case, it will allow for the camera to be able to show you all the things that I'm doing. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to move the seat forward. Just like so. Okay, and I'm moving the seat back all the way forward. Just like so. Then we're just going to pop the trunk here. I already had it open. And then we're going to take the cover off here. We don't have to take the top one off because it's not in the way. I'm going to take this loose, like so. Get it out of the way. And then if those of you that have a custom carpet in the back, you're going to want to take that out. It doesn't have to come out permanently. It's just for during the installation, because we're actually going to be we're going to have to take I have a light in here to show you this D-ring right here. We're going to have to take that loose, so that way we can get this carpet up and out of the way, so we can get into the fuse box to power the light assembly once we get it in. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this door here, move the seat forward. Just like so. and it's out of the way. For filming purposes only, I took the top off. Now if you want to take it off, it probably makes it just that little bit easier, but it's not needed. So, but this will make it so the camera can get in there and see everything that you guys need to be able to see. Okay, before we get started here in the trunk area, I just wanted to cover something that isn't in the instructions, but I just wanted to point it out. Just better be safe than sorry. You're going to be leaning into the car a lot. You're going to be working over here, removing this D-ring here in a second, and then we're going to be pulling this carpet back, and we're going to be looking in the computer area that's right over here underneath my hand, right here underneath where the battery's at. So you're going to be back and forth, and so you want to make sure that you don't get any scratches on your fender. And so what I did is I removed my belt and I pulled my shirt out to cover everything here. But you know, you can also use a fender cover or something like that, or a towel. But I just wanted to cover that ahead of time so we don't end up with any accidental scratches. I've got this template here that they provide, and it's dual-sided. So you've got one side is for the driver, the other side is for the passenger, and they both have some sticky tape on here. So basically what's going to happen is that it's going to go up in here like so. But before you do that, you're going to want to wipe this window trim here. It's a windowsill. You're going to wipe that down with alcohol. It's like so. Really, guys, I do actually clean my car. It doesn't look like it, huh? Okay. So we're going to allow that to dry for a second. This template shows it's the driver's side, but the sticky part is for the bottom. So because what we're doing is we're pulling the sticky tape off of the bottom side to be able to use it for the driver. Then when we get to the other side, we'll be flipping it over, and we'll use the sticky that's over here on the driver's side to stick down to the passenger side. Okay. Now the other thing, and I'll explain that to you here in just a second, we're going to go ahead and take this the sticky off, and we're going to align it up here in the windowsill. Now, what you want is you can feel the difference between the windowsill and then the fabric itself. So you're going to want to get it right on that line, right as it goes right up there. You're putting it up against the glass, and you're putting it up against this part of the windowsill. And then you're just going to press and hold it there for a second to make it stick. Okay, so they supply us with a primer, a 3M primer pin that is used, and we're going to use that here inside this cutout area of the template. And this is used to be able to make sure that the adhesive of the bracket itself, which is right here, is going to stick and hold, you know, in the windowsill. So you have to press this little black dot right here. You crush that. I don't know if you heard that or not. You crush it, and then at that point you can start. It'll start filling the material here, and then you can start painting it on, just like so. So you want to paint that on like that. Make sure that it's totally covered. Just like that. And then you're going to just let that dry for a minute. So what we're doing here is we want to warm this adhesive up. And like I was talking about, you can use a heat gun if you want. You're probably going to burn your fingers holding it out like this, but all we're doing is that we're just going to heat this up with a hairdryer just to get the adhesive nice and warm. And then doing this before while I'm waiting for the adhesive promoter to dry inside the car. So we're just heating this up here.
Huge President's Day savings on the all-new 2025 Silverado are yours at Maida Chevy.
With $10,250 off MSRP on select new 2025 LT models.
Now that's big. Huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm George Washington, and I approve this message.
All right, so the next step is that we've allowed this to dry, and I went ahead while we were waiting for it to dry. I pre-started the tape, peeled it back, and we're going to go ahead and we're just literally going to set this bracket inside the hole here and then press it down. Now, I want to point out something, and this was told to me by the folks at Windrestrictor, that This is kind of an optical illusion. Everyone that does this thinks that it isn't going on straight. But if you look in the instructions, it'll show you that it is at an angle and that you need to go ahead and just trust the template. Don't go, oh, this isn't right, and freak out. This is actually the way it goes on. So I'm just pulling the tape off of here, and I'm going to stick this little guy. You want to make sure that the nut here that holds the restrictor on is facing to the back, and that that you're just going to put it right in the hole. Okay. Now that we've got that totally down there, it's tight. It's not coming off. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to release the template here and peel it up off like that. So that little guy is all set to go, and that one's not coming off. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move to the passenger side. So we're on the passenger side now, and we've taken that template off from the other side, and we've just flipped it over where it says passenger. And we're going to, again, wipe this off. Get that windowsill nice and clean. Any oils off. And then we're just going to let that dry for a second. Okay, so we let the alcohol dry, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to take that tape off that we were talking about. Even though we're using again, remember, we're using the passenger side, but we're going to take the tape off of the driver. Okay, and we're going to align it back up here again, like I said, where we're up against the glass, and we are right at the seam between the windowsill and the fabric. Okay. And we're going to get it right to there like that. And then we're going to hold it down. And let it adhere for a second there. Okay. Just like that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take our little adhesive promoter that we've got here. And we're going to go ahead and paint that spot again. All the way around in here. All right, so now that part's done. So now I'm going to grab the other bracket, if I can get it here, and I'm going to go ahead and jump outside the car here, and Jennifer's going to move the camera over, and we'll go ahead and we'll heat this one up. Once we get this one warm, this should be dry, and we'll go ahead and we'll stick this one on, and then we'll be done with the bracket part of the installation. So we're just going to go ahead and heat this one up here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pull the adhesive backing off, and hopefully this one will come off okay. There we go. Now remember, what we said is that we want to make sure that these nuts are actually pointing backwards, and so it's going to go in like so. Okay, so we've got this dry, we've got this nice and warm, and we're going to set this right inside that template, and we're going to set it in there and press down. And there you go. So those are mounted. We've got the deflector now, and you notice I'm wearing white gloves. They actually supply the gloves, and this way you're not getting your fingerprints all over the glass. And what you want to do is they supply you with some of the cleaner that you need to use for this. You don't want to use Windex or anything like that because it's very rough and it will scratch this and it will void your warranty. So make sure that you, when you run out of what they supply you, make sure you buy some more of it. And in the instructions, they actually they tell you what it is. So that way, this will be looking good forever. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move it in here, and we're going to mount it into the brackets, and we'll get it in there. So what you want to do is you want to try to avoid the seat belts because it just loves eating your legs. So you get your restrictor in there where you can kind of keep it balanced. You're going to take the knob off on both sides. Get it where it's handy. And then what you're going to do is you're actually just going to set this up. You're going to get it up here. Get it up into the windowsill. And now if you notice, you're wanting to put it so the picture is actually correct looking from the back, from the trunk area. Okay? So you're going to put that like that. Get this one on there at the top. And you can see right there that fits in there perfect. So like we were talking about with those brackets, that looks like it would fit, it wouldn't fit right. But like I said, just trust those templates and it'll work just fine. So now once we've got the restrictor in place, we're just going to go ahead and put the mounting bracket up there like so. Okay, kind of hold it in place, and then we're going to put the knob on. Okay, and then we're going to do the other side, and then we'll put this other bracket on here. And then we can snug everything up. So now, like I was saying, you need to trust the templates, because it looks like it doesn't fit, but it actually does. Okay, that one's nice and tight. I'll go back over to the other side here. Snug this one up. All right. First thing we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and take the cover off, and then this will expose the 40 Torx that's underneath here. So we're just going to use a putty knife to pop this off, like so. And then we're going to use our 40 Torx here. All right, and we're going to get those up and out of the way. And then we're going to go ahead and pull the carpet back. Now, you don't want to just yank this carpet up. If you do, it's going to end up tearing right here because it's totally tucked underneath this plastic. So what you want to do is you want to get underneath it from the battery area, and you're going to just like reach underneath with your hands, and you're going to lift up and out on this until it comes free. Okay, just like so. And then we're going to roll this over to get it out of our way. Now the instructions show that, or tell you to use like a 2x4 or something like that to be able to prop it across from here to here so this stays out of your way. What you can do is you can actually take this electric cover here, the electronics cover, and you can prop it up over here like that. And what that does, that leaves you the legend for your fuse panel right here that matches your actual fuse panel down here, so you'll know exactly which fuse you're going to be pulling. We're actually taking the wire from the wind restrictor itself and we're bringing it across the top, and we're tucking it into the rubber here. So we're just going to pull it across like so. We're tucking it up in here like this. So that's nice and smooth, nice and flush there. And we're going to tuck that all the way around. There's no pressure on this at all, so it's not like it's going to fall out or anything like that. This rubber's going to just hold it in place. So not a big deal there. You just want to try to make sure that it stays flat and that it's not trying to turn on you, which is what it will try to do. Okay. Now once we get to this point here, you can see right here that we need to go down now. And then we're going to go right down this edge where the plastic meets the carpet here. And this is what I was talking about in the very beginning about having the little a little squeegee. It's I didn't want to use metal up against this carpet, probably going to snag a little bit. So we use that to get in there, and we can wedge that open so we can get this wire up in there without having to hurt the carpet or the metal. So we can wedge that open like so, and we can tuck that wire right down in there. Like that. See how that goes right in there? And it's hollow down in there, so it's not like it's not going to be catching anything in there. And then you can pull it back, and then you get it down here. Okay. And there we go. In this section of the video, you'll be watching me install the multi-light kit for the multicolor wind restrictor. If you purchased a single light wind restrictor, you'll only have 2 wires and you'll be able to skip forward. I've gone ahead and put the timestamp up on the screen so you'll be able to fast forward to that section. But just to recap, for the people that have the single color 2-wire setup, I'm going to be putting a diagram up here on the screen, and it will show you the 2 wires, and that you're going to take the positive wire and you're going to connect it to the wire tap, and then you're going to put a connector, an eyelet connector on the negative, and that negative wire will go to the battery or the body ground, and then you will hook the wire tap itself into fuse number 37. We've got our 4 wires here, and you're going to need to be able to strip them back a little bit, and so different people have got different types of tools. I happen to have an auto wire stripper, so I'm going to go ahead and just strip these back just a little bit, just like so. Because we're going to be having to screw these wires into the LED light controller. So there we go. So now that we've stripped our wires and we've got our controller, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start hooking the wires up to it. So now you're going to see here that your controller has a V plus, and then an R channel 1, G channel 2, and a B channel 3. So your black wire coming off of the wind restrictor itself is going to go, the black wire is going to go to the V plus connector. So you're going to slide that in like so. If you, hopefully you can see that nice and clear. And we're going to tighten that up. Okay, you want to test it, make sure that you got a good connection, and then you're going to move on to the next one. So your red wire is going to go to channel 1, which it's marked with an R. And this screw needs to come out just a little bit. There we go. And we'll tighten that one down. Again, you don't want to reef it down, but you want to get it pretty snug, so it's nice and tight there. And then you're going to use your green wire on channel 2. Alright, check that wire, make sure it's good. And then we're going to use the blue wire on channel 3. Alright, so now we've got a good connection on all 4 of the wires here. And now the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be hooking up, I'm going to strip the wires back, and then we're going to be hooking these connections onto here. The black with the white tracer on the wire will be your positive, the solid black will be your negative. And then at that point we'll be attaching it to the car itself. So what we can do here, they've already pre-stripped part of it for us. So we're gonna open these screws up a little bit. So, now remember the black wire with the white tracer is gonna be your positive. And then your solid black wire is going to be your negative wire. Now the system does come with a set of instructions, so you'll want to follow those instructions just in case they send you a different color set. There is a possibility that they could send a different harness because things do change over time. So you just want to make sure that you familiarize yourself with the wiring before you go and plug this into the battery. Okay, so we're just going to recap here. We've got our wires hooked up over here. This is the output of the unit. And then we've got our incoming power that's hooked up over here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to mount this. We're going to mount this right here. I'm going to set this right in place. And instead of screws, we're actually going to use wire ties. We're going to zip tie it right here to this harness and one over to this side over here like that. And then this will be pretty much out of the way, and it'll be underneath this cover, and so it's going to sit just like that. So everything will be nice and tucked away, and it won't be touching anything. So all we're doing here like that, this is probably going to be kind of hard for you to see, but we're just utilizing the screw holes that they provide. And instead of using the screws, we're just going to use the zip ties. So what you want to do is just get it started on one side so you can still move it around a little bit. And then once you get both sides started, then you can go ahead and tighten them up. Get it where you want it, snug it up. Get this one where you want it, snug it up. And then I'm going to just clip the excess wire off, or the plastic off of the zip tie. So, and that is in place. We're good to go right there. Now that we've got the LED controller in place, what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to grab the fuse puller off of the fuse block here, and we're going to pull this fuse, which is a fuse 37. Okay, and we're going to get that little guy out of here. We're going to pull it out and put our puller back over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the fuse itself into this tap, and it goes right, there's a hole there for it, so we'll insert that in there like so. There we go, just like that. Okay, and then what we do is we actually go ahead and it'll go into this one. Now it's a little bit easier to do this while it's out, so I'm going to separate these wires here, and remember the black wire with the white tracer is the one that you're going to want, which is your power wire. So I'm just separating these wires here because we have to be able to use the black wire to go to the chassis ground. So we're going to, but we need to cut the power cable so it's not so darn long. Okay, so we're going to figure out how far we need it to be, somewhere in this ballpark or so, and then we're going to go ahead and cut it. At that point, we'll strip it back. So we've got our tap and we've got our fuse put into the tap. Now what we're going to do is we've already stripped our wire here, our power wire, and we're just going to insert it into the into our butt connector, just like so, and we're going to crimp it. Now again, I highly recommend that you use a pair of dikes that'll actually lock this down. Okay, and that's a nice tight fitting right there. So at that point, you're going to go ahead and you're going to insert it into the slot over here, like so. So now we've got our power, and now all we have to do is get the ground wire set up. We're going to be hooking up the ground wire now, and so I'm just going to be stripping this wire back, like so. And then you want to get yourself a connector. The light is kind of drowning it out here, but you want to be able to get one of these connectors that you can crimp onto your wire, and that'll make it so it's a nice clean installation. It's like so. Then you want to crimp that down. Let's see. Just like this. Make sure you got it crimped really well. And then we're going to be going to this bolt right here. The instructions show that you can go over to your main chassis ground up here, but I chose to go over at the battery itself. So this is a 10mm bolt here, or nut, I should say. Okay, so we're bolted up, we're connected. So at this point we'll just we'll button up our wires and get them laid out nice and tight there so they're not just flopping around, and then we'll be able to test the unit. Okay, so now we're to the point where we can test the system, and what we need to do is we have to get the remote out of the box that it came in, and it requires 3 AAA batteries that they are not included, so you'll need to make sure that you have some, like so. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the accessories on the car, and we'll give it a try and see if it works. Now that we've got everything all wired in, we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to check this now. So we're going to come over to the car. We're not going to start it. We're just going to press and hold the start button without being on the brake, and just turn on the accessory. And if everything works well, our wind restrictor should light up. So I'm going to go ahead and push the button now. Just press and holding it, and the accessory mode should kick on. Now look at that. So we've got it wired up right. So here's the remote control here, and we can actually turn it off from here, turn it back on, and we can adjust just by moving our thumb around the dial. We can actually dial in whatever color that we want, just like that. Okay, so we'll go into further operating of this here once we get it all put back together, but we know that it's all working now.
Huge President's Day savings now on new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy.
With $10,250 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025
LT models at Maida Chevy. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
$10,250 off new Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm George Washington, and I approved this message.
We've got everything wired, we've tested it, it works. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start putting it all back together. And what I like to do is I like to cover the exposed wires where there might be any friction over the electronics lid. So I'm just going to take a little bit of duct tape here. And you could use duct tape, you could use masking tape. It's just to keep it from scarring the wires if there was anything going on there. So I'm just going to put it right over here. Going to take these wires right here. This is the high point, so I just thought I would put this on there like so. Just like that. And then that way the wires aren't going to get chafed from this cover when it goes back on. I'm going to be just putting this back together now. We're just putting the battery cover back on. I'm going to take the electronics cover. I'm going to put it back in its place just like so. Okay. And a lot of times people, just a little hint, all of the specs for your car is actually hidden on this plate underneath your carpet. A lot of times I've known a lot of people that have had C7s, they don't know where this sticker is. They used to put these in the glove box, but they're here in the trunk now. So just so you know. Okay, so at this point we're just going to roll this. We're just reversing everything we just did. So we're just rolling this back down. Okay, we're going to get this down like so. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll tuck all of this in. What we're going to do here is we're just tucking this in. We're again reversing it. So you're going to put a little bit of a lip in here like so, lifting it up in the center, and then we're tucking it back underneath the plastic, just like that. And then tuck down, nice and neat. So tuck down, just like that. Okay, so that's all nice and neat down in there where it belongs. And then we're just going to put this ring back in. And you don't have to put this in really, really tight. It's just snug it down. And then this cover just pops right on. Just like so. Alright, so she's all buttoned back up, and now the fun begins. We get to actually play with it. I'm going to go ahead and put my carpet back in, and then put my skirt back on up here, the cargo cover, and we're finished. That. And we're just going to go ahead and put the cargo cover back in place. Okay, so that's all put back together, and now we're going to go ahead and turn it on and show it off a little bit. So here's some basic operating instructions for the LED kit with the remote control. So what we're going to do is, you can see here that the wind restrictor is off, and I'm going to go ahead and put the remote out here so you can see both the restrictor and the remote. You have the basic on and off the top. We're going to go ahead and turn it on, and then at that point you can see, let's see if I can get it so you'll be able to see a little bit better. We can pick anything along the ring here that will get us a different color, whatever we want it to be at, and that's what it'll stay at, as a static color. We also have the intensity. We can press the down arrow down over here to go down, and you can press the top one to go up. And then in between here in the circle you have two different buttons, and these are all of the different programs that you can go through. So as you cycle through them, you can see what it will do. It has, like I said, different characteristics on each one of these. So as you tap it, it's going to start to go to like a blinking and changing. There we go, like that. Okay. Then the bottom one has some other programs in it too. There you go. And that's pretty much it. You can just play with those until you get the exact program that you want it to run, and then you're good to go. So guys, hopefully you like what you saw today, and if you did and you want to get one of these for yourself, be sure and use my link below, and also use the code Corvette Channel to get your 10% discount. If you decide you're going to call in, you can do that too, but be sure and give them the code Corvette Channel to get your 10% off. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up and hit that bell so you'll be notified of any of our future uploads. You guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.
If you liked the video you just watched and like to see more, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe.